I don't wear the makeup anymore. You know, it's a lot easier. I can show up 10 minutes before a show and get up on stage and play it. You know, with Kiss, it was like, you know, 2 hours getting the costume and the makeup, and a lot of work. Hi, this is Ace Frehley and you're watching METALXS. We'll be right back after these messages.
Most parents are wary of the so-called heavy metal music.
Salut à tous, METALXS, c'est l'essentiel de l'actualité métal et dérivé en quelques minutes, le tout en images, en musique et en interview. METALXS est une exclusivité RIFFX by Crédit Mutuel, la plateforme de toutes les musiques, tous les talents en partenariat avec Art Force. C'est parti! Voilà des années que nos routes se croisent avec Sabaton, à chaque sortie d'un de ses albums, et plus encore quand le groupe suédois convoque l'histoire française, épisodes illustres comme la bataille de Verdun, ou méconnus comme l'existence du poilu Albert Roche. Les fans s'interrogeaient sur le peu de références en 25 ans à des personnalités emblématiques françaises, car après tout, notre pays n'a pas été le dernier à s'illustrer en combat et conquête. Avec Legends, son 11e album, Sabaton aborde Jeanne d'Arc et surtout Napoléon. C'est dans le cadre exceptionnel de l'Hôtel des Invalides, où repose l'empereur, que nous nous sommes retrouvés il y a quelques jours en compagnie de Pär Sundström. Il nous explique en quoi Napoléon est devenu une évidence au cœur des autres légendes dépeintes sur ce disque.
It was so many times suggested. And since our fans often suggest us to write various songs, I think one of the most suggested songs to write would have been one about Napoleon. And I mean, I cannot say how many, but I have a lot of emails in my inbox saying you should write a song about Napoleon and you need to come here. And yeah, we did.
Fortune does favor the brave, from the Senate to the grave. This man would seek it all, this man would be the call. The Republic's doom and fall, he's the man who caused it all. Dictator.
At the time of when he was alive, the impact of the world was so massive. I think by today's standard, it's very difficult to understand how much and how much power he would have over the people living. We do have some rulers today that have also very, very big countries, but not in the same way that they affect and really selflessly control them. So in the impact way, yeah, it was, the story is very, yeah, it really belongs on Legends.
A-t-il fréquemment l'occasion de visiter des lieux aussi chargés d'histoire ?
We do visit a lot of museums. Not as many as people would think, because we do not have the time to go around all the time. But we do get invitations pretty much everywhere we go in the world. Some of them hold, let's say, a more special place because they connect more with our songs. And then if we can, we take the chance to go. But it's not so often that we can actually do it. It's the curse of being in a rock and roll band. It's also the cool thing. We get to go all over the world. But in the end, when people say, oh, you travel so much, yeah, but what do I normally see? I see venue, and I see the airport, and I see the hotel. So we don't usually get to go and see so much. So how many times I visited Paris? Maybe 25, 30 times. Never been here. And never been to a lot of other places in the city too. So, but today I'm thankful to be able to go here. You might think that us in Sabaton, we would have by now visited Normandy, but we did not. And this is on the bucket list to do one day. But yeah, the time, it takes a lot of time to go around and play. We don't really have that much of time to go around and see. First of all, it's a little bit overwhelming, and I'm thankful that the leaders of today do not build tombs like this. Yeah, some people, they did influence the history that much, and to build a memory for that, it would make sense for the spirit of the nation as well. It's a very impressive place to visit, but a little bit difficult to find the words.
Écrire sur un sujet aussi massif que Napoléon nécessite-t-il de faire de grosses recherches au préalable?
A lot of the stories we were aware of, and it's also for writing about such a big and famous. We don't really need to dig so much because we are writing a 4-minute song. We are not writing a 400-page book. So we only have a few words that we get to use, but we have to make them count. And so for good and bad, it's a blessing and a curse to have few words to use in a song. Because sometimes you would like to tell something more deep, but it's not doable.
Comment élabore-t-il une chanson à partir d'un thème comme celui-ci?
So we always start with the music and see what kind of emotions we get from the music, and that will shape how we write the song in the end. So with such a character like Napoleon, we could write the song from various angles and various times in history. And so we just have to feel the song, and we had this very pompous, epic song. So we thought, okay, maybe we do it in the way of writing it as if he would have taken that at his own peak, and very full of himself, and so it's sort of a song written from his perspective.
Comment se positionne-t-il par rapport à ses conquérants et chefs de guerre, et en quoi est-ce important dans notre compréhension du monde actuel?
I think history is always interesting and should be interesting in the way we see the world that we live in today. And I didn't thought about it so much when I was younger. I was not that interested in history. That's something that has come the last 25 years singing about it. But I tend to think a little bit like this. If people understood a few important facts about history, that for every conflict, no matter if it is between two countries or two people living together in a relationship, it's very important to understand that in every conflict, big or small, there are at least two sides, and they are usually right from their own perspective. And a very important thing is to understand why this was starting from the beginning. And because if you know the backstory of something like that, as a viewer from a third perspective, let's say, you would have bigger understanding of why some people don't like each other or like each other. And if more people in this world would understand why, I think there will be less racism, less hatred, and more understanding in the world. And maybe the world will be a little bit better place. This is of course not in the interest of each side because they want to be the only right. So, and that's where the propaganda war comes into, no matter where it is. But I think by understanding this and not just blindly listening to one side, the world would be a better place. So I think history is quite important.
Dans la chanson I Emperor, l'emploi de la première personne du singulier est-il un moyen pour Sabaton de proposer son propre point de vue?
No. The Sabaton perspective is not really represented in the music. We do not put ourselves there. We sing the song as a historical retelling of the story, but we do not sing it necessarily from the Sabaton perspective. We tell it so it's interesting, so that listeners find it interesting, but it's up to them to decide what is right or wrong, or was Napoleon good or bad, or it's not up to us to judge history. We just tell it, and I think that's how it should be. I don't want to go around and tell the people of the world how to live their lives, what to vote for, what to think, what to do, what to wear, what to do this. It should always be individual choice. That's what I support. If some people don't want to listen to Sabaton, I'm not going to force them.
L'histoire de la Suède est associée à celle de Napoléon, notamment à travers le rôle particulier joué par Bernadotte, brillant maréchal d'Empire et stratège devenu roi de Suède et de Norvège, opposant et jugé comme un traître par l'empereur.
I mean, thankfully, at this time Sweden was relatively at peace, and I'm happy for that. But yes, Napoleon was not looking so happy at Sweden at this time. Luckily, we got away with it, how to say.
Il semble que l'histoire de France soit une riche source d'inspiration pour Sabaton.
Unfortunately for your part of the history, and don't get me wrong here, but you have been involved in a lot of battles. Your military history is rich. That makes, for a band like Sabaton, easier to find stories in your history than in our own history, for example. Not in a good way, I would say, but in a thankful way if you would be a Sabaton member trying to write songs about history.
L'épopée guerrière et la trame de fond de toute la thématique de Sabaton. Ont-ils pensé un jour relater d'autres faits qui ne soient pas militaires?
The other types of history do not really fit so well into heavy metal. I mean, first and foremost, we are a heavy metal band. That's where our hearts really burn for. And we just felt that we needed something that was also relevant to sing about. And we choose military history. We are not the first one to do so. One of my favorite bands would be Iron Maiden, and they did it long before us. And it was maybe somewhere along those we found the idea to do it, and it simply worked, and it stuck with us. And 25 years later we are still doing it, because unfortunately the world has been a very violent place, and still continues to be. So we're not going to run out of topics to sing about, unfortunately.
Beer and fighting.
Et l'actualité, malheureusement riche en conflits, pourrait-elle donner jour prochainement à des chansons de Sabaton?
No, we wouldn't do that, because we still write about military history, not military conflicts. And anything that's happening and unfolding at the moment would be so politically charged, and we like to stay away from politics.
Hello, boys! Ready to get your asses kicked?
All right, guys, let's make sure that history prevails.
Legends est le premier album du groupe auquel tous les membres ont participé à la composition. En quoi cela a-t-il changé la donne?
It was not intentional. We always aim at just the best songs. and not necessarily that we have to write it in a certain way. And it was also a little bit unexpected because one of the songs, Lightning at the Gates, Tobbe was working on that song before he was in the band, which made it a little bit funny when he finished and he was like, yeah, great song, hope Tommy will do it right. And then a couple of months later, our guitar player Tommy decides to focus on his own career, and Tobbe comes back into the band, and suddenly Tobbe sits and plays his own song. And if that didn't happen, then it would have looked different. So, and this was of course not in our plan, but it happened, and the outcome was the best we could do with it.
En étant vraiment originaux dans leur démarche, réalisent-ils l'impact qu'ils ont eu sur le public?
There's been a lot of times. I mean, I think there's a big potential that if I open my email inbox at the moment, I have some thank you letter from somewhere in the world where somebody says, thanks to you, I got this inspiration, I learned this, I passed my test in school, my kid learned this, I was able to use your song in a history class, or something like that, because it's happening on a daily basis that we hear from people. This was not something we intended or thought or even dreamed of when we started this a long time ago, but we have seen it more and more and more. And it's not our main goal in this world, because our main goal is to play heavy metal, but the side story of it, the bonus maybe, is pretty nice, and I do enjoy, and it's great to hear those stories from people. Many years ago, a history teacher from Poland told me that it's very interesting. The state gives me all these tools, all these books and films and all kind of stuff, and I use them all, trying to make the kids listen to me. And they don't. But when I play your songs, they all pay attention. So among all the tools that the state has given me, the one that you gave, and unintentionally, is the most powerful one when it comes to catching the attention of my students. And after that, yeah, the students can go and search elsewhere, because after all, it's in a few-minute metal song you can't learn so much about history, but you can get an idea, it can inspire you, and you can continue to search. I think after we did the heavy metal part of what we do, meaning we go and record a song and we play it live, and we do the more traditional heavy metal stuff, we can do the other things. So if anybody would come across our website, you will find also that there's the Sabaton History channel, where we are making documentary movies about every song we've written, and we also have original articles researched by our internal team. And so I think we extended our little 4 minutes of heavy metal by something, but if people really want to be experts, we're not going to be those. There are others much better than us.
Après Verdun et la Grande Guerre, ici Napoléon et même Jeanne d'Arc, réfléchissent-ils déjà à d'autres figures ou événements français pour l'avenir?
That's interesting, and I don't think so much. Well, I'd be lying if I would say that. I do think about the future and what Sabaton will do in the future, because it's partly my job to think about it. But it's too early to say anything about it, where Sabaton will be and where I will meet you the next time presenting a new Sabaton album. Now I'm here, I don't know where I'm gonna be the next time. But what I do know is that we're gonna tour the world a couple of times before we go to the studio and start making new songs.
Fin novembre, Sabaton se produit à Paris et Lyon, dans les plus grandes salles de sa carrière, en tête d'affiche, accompagné du Legendary Orchestra. Que nous réserve-t-il pour ces 2 dates XXL?
I think we're bringing a show that a lot of people were not expecting. It's not the traditional rock show that some people have been accustomed to see. We're taking it to a little bit of a different direction, more theater, and maybe this won't be for everybody, but not everything is supposed to be for everybody. But I think some people will really enjoy this show more than anything before. The Legendary Orchestra is not also what a lot of people think. It's very easy to think that Sabaton is going to be performing with an orchestra. But the Legendary Orchestra is not performing with Sabaton. It's performing alone as kind of our opening act on the tour. Performing Sabaton songs in an epic way, led by phenomenal musicians that have done their rendition of Sabaton music and added their unique skills, unique musicianships, and created something really unique. And I know how it sounds like. I know exactly what it is, and I'm so excited about this. And yeah, again, maybe not for everybody, but for the people who appreciate it, this will be I think this tour will go down in history books.
Comment ont-ils collaboré avec l'orchestre pour qu'il s'intègre au mieux à l'esprit d'une tournée métal?
It was a big, long process to do this. We've been years in the making, and I did not personally know all these musicians from the beginning. But each and every one in the Legendary Orchestra is hand-picked. We didn't take an existing orchestra and said, okay, you'll be going on tour. Each musician there has proven themselves, and thanks to castings, they have been performing and been selected to do it. Not, of course, because of their musical capabilities, but also about their interest. What we didn't wanted was that if we would take an orchestra and we have a few people in there who like the band Sabaton, like the music, and some people they are just there to spend the time. We didn't want that to happen. So here, each and every one who's going to be performing on the stage really is there with the passion of their heart to play the songs. And that was something really needed. And it's been taking a long time to find each and every one. But now I'm so excited about seeing this all come to life on the stage. I know what it sounds like. The recordings are already done in studios. We've tested it, we've produced it, and now it's just to review.
À noter sur vos tablettes les sorties discographiques récentes ou à paraître dans les prochains jours. Voilà, METALXS, c'est terminé pour aujourd'hui. On se retrouve dans 15 jours pour un nouveau numéro avec toujours plus d'interviews, de surprises et de contenus inédits. Un immense merci pour votre fidélité et n'oubliez pas de prolonger l'expérience métal sur RIFFX.fr. Salut!